Okay, let me just get it up on screen. As per usual, my computer is a little bit slow. We'll wait for it just to pop up and then we'll do the introductions and we'll have a look at what we're going to do today, or what I'm going to do today, and we'll take it from there. Come on, computer, you can do it. There it is, right there. So, hello, my name is Rob. This is Cattle Rabbit Scale Model Studios, and in this live on Sunday, the 3rd of November. God, we're in November already. When I actually wrote it, I actually put October. Blimey, we're in the 11th month. Nearly Christmas, nearly Christmas. But in this video, we're just going to hang out and I'm going to be painting up one of the blade guards that I kit bashed with chat a little while ago, which is this little guy here. I'm going to start with the Dark Angel first, I think, because he was the first one I kit bashed, and it was a lot of fun. It was a hell of a lot of fun. I am worried about where I put the Caliban green now, because where have I put that? Where would I have put that? That's the question. Where would I have put Caliban green? Is that it? No. Is that it? No. Where? Oh, I know where I put it. Oh, do I? Hang on, where's that little leaflet gone? I had a thing I wanted to show, and it's already. It was. Oh no! Wait, hang on. There's the thing. No, that's not it. Oh my goodness. Oh no, it's there. Whew. Mini panic. Over. North Star. Hi. How are you? It's nice to see you. Thanks for popping in. It's a pleasure to see you, sir. Hope you're keeping well. What are you working on tonight? I say it's gonna be Dark Angel Blade Guard. Oh, that'll upset the purists, won't it? Dark Angel Blade Guard. Oh, anyway, I'm going to be painting up. I've only sprayed the body so far. I've got to admit, I was a little bit strapped for time earlier. My partner and kids went out to some Christmas market. I've had the day to myself, so I've done a little bit of cleaning. I have tried to attempt to tidy up some resemblance of my studio, but I did get out yesterday. I popped into the local town with my eldest, and I managed to pick up Caliban green, which is something that I've needed for absolutely ages. It delayed us last time, and we can finally get cracking. So there it is. Obviously, it's taken me a little while. I do apologise to come back with the lives. So those that follow, blah blah blah. I found out recently that I've been walking around with a fractured kneecap for 7 months, 8 months now. Way happy anniversary, knee. And I'm waiting to get it braced up by the orthopedics, which seemed to be not that concerned for the amount of pain I'm in, even though I was referred to a trauma specialist who quickly, whipped me in for MRIs and X-rays and diagnosed the problem after, my GP's fumbling a diagnosis. And then I got an infection in my kneecap, which has been so painful. Like, I thought the pain of a fractured knee was quite bad, but coupled with the infection, I could barely bend my leg. It was absolutely agony. But look, I'm back now, and well, not so I'm back. I never really went anywhere, but I have certainly been making my health a bit of a preference in this instance. So that's where I've been. That's why I haven't done lives for the last couple of weeks, and I got to admit, there hasn't really been many YouTube videos, just my obligations to people that have sent me stuff. But I have done some things, as you might have seen when I pop this up. I wanted to do one of these a little while back, a raptor. So I had a spare Terminator lying around, so I thought I'd paint him up as a raptor. A very, very cool Space Marine chapter. Really good fun. And if I told you that aside from some select highlights, this is all dry brush, all of it. So it's really easy to. I'm going to pop a video on how to do this guy up, because it was a lot of fun to do, and I think he looks great. Really cool. I was really inspired. My friend Misfit Toys, Charlie, he lives out in Missouri. He does some amazing raptors. I'm always looking at them, and I'm thinking, man, I'd love to have a crack at that. So I did, and raptors, there it is. So Very, very cool. I hope you didn't go to Son of Lion. Not to mention, I'll try not to mention Filmcast. Son of Lion, more Pathfinder. Yeah, blimey. I don't think anything could top what I've been in with my knee at the last couple of weeks. So I did paint him up. Your boy was featured in a Warhammer community article for the Warhammer Underworld. Oh my god! With some Skaven. I actually painted all of them up in the end over a weekend, and it was great fun. I've got a video on how I do the warp stone coming out. I think like Wednesday. It's going to come out for. But at the time, the art I had to submit the pictures to Games Workshop. I'd only painted a couple of them. You know, and they were very cool. But I did actually end up going to paint on all of them. Obviously, if you've seen the MGuard video, you've probably seen these anyway. Like I said, the green effect, there's a tutorial coming out from, but I actually painted all 5 of these guys. I like doing stuff with the Games Workshop products because I wouldn't buy something like this or paint it for myself. So getting them, you kind of go, oh, it's something new, it's something fresh, and I really enjoyed doing it. I think the only thing that sucks is that I can't show them off straight away. So I kind of, you know, just like do stuff that I kind of want, and then I have gaps in content because you know, NDAs and embargo dates and stuff. So, but I did, yeah, I did all those. They were great fun. I really like their sculpted bases on these ones. I thought they were really, really cool. I'm just hacking away at my chaplain and I'm bearing Terminator armor. Give me some weapons, trinkets. Love watching you out. Oh, thanks, Alec. Hey, it's good to see you in the chat, my man. How are you? You're in, is it Denmark, I believe? You're a couple of hours ahead of us, I think. So you burning the midnight oil there, and are you well more than anything? It's a guy super nice. You did that. Yeah, no, Atomic Murph. Yeah, no, Alex is such a lovely guy. I always think it's really weird because like I don't have people donate to me because I don't do it for that. I always think it's really weird, quite strange. But it does help. It does help with the hobby funds and stuff like that. And just, you know, Caliban Green was a paint I needed, and I was able to dip into a little pot that, you know, means it didn't come out of my living wage. So do you know what? Nicer situation to be in. So there we go. So yeah, look, Skaven stuff. If you are interested in Warpstone as well, there'll be a little video coming out. It's only 3 paints. Super easy. I'm going to try and get that out for Wednesday. And I've also got a video coming out tomorrow. Oh, you're so lucky, because I actually got given the Red Gobbo, the Christmas miniature. Now I'm going to let you in with, just before I start painting, a little bit of a fun tidbit. I did the video, and I did make the miniature, although I haven't painted any of it yet, as you can see here. It's a really cool middle. I don't think I would have bought this normally for myself, but I really like it. I always like the one with him throwing the candy cane down the chimney, and I never got it, and I was always a bit gutted that I missed out. So, you know, GW sent me this, and I was like, yeah, absolutely, brilliant. So I'm going to be painting this up. But in my video, if you are thinking of picking this up for yourself, when you get yours, you'll notice that there's absolutely nothing on the back. And if you open up, there's no rules. He doesn't have any rules or anything like that. He's just like a pure kind of painter's piece. Now, this is where sometimes I find working with companies that maybe don't give you all the information is a little bit frustrating. So I've done this video, and I'm just putting the finishing touches to it. It's all uploaded, scheduled. But in the video, I do make a point of saying it's a painter's piece or a collector's piece because there's no rules. So I had to approach the video very differently. If you go into your local Games Workshop and pick up the Festive Guide 2024, obviously they do these every year, and it shows you like all the little things that are coming out, and, you know, stuff like Spearhead. It's cool. I like stuff like this. You know, I think it's pretty cool. It's got some great examples, some great pictures of some very cool miniatures. But as you flick through it and you move more towards the back, you have this. And I was like, okay, activity. So you kind of do this and you open it up, and there's this really cool color chart in there. I thought that was quite cool. And there's like a bit of a painting challenge for the Red Gobbo. And then you can actually have a battle plan not only for Age of Sigmar, there's a battle plan for Warhammer 40k, and he also has rules. So there you go, little tidbit. If you're going to go and pick up the Red Gobbo, pop into your local Games Workshop and pick up one of the Christmas guides, and he's got all of his abilities and rules in there. But they don't tell you that. So in my video, there we go. That's why. Anyway, cool Christmas guide. Don't like all that tat. I like that. Got loads of tat. But there we go. A little tip for you. Right. So Dark Angels. Obviously, we are going to be doing the Dark Angels Blade Guard guy that we converted first. Just purely because he was first. So we'll take it from there. So the first thing I am going to do is I need a base to glue him onto. Because where is my, not that, I had a new tube of super glue. What have I done with it? No idea. If you do hear any little pops or anything like that, it is obviously fireworks night. It was Diwali and that, so you might hear some bangs and stuff like that. There we go. In the background. That's all that is. I'm not busting a cap, if people still stay there. There we go. Let's grab one of these. And we'll just pop him a bit of super glue on here. Oh, blimey, sorry. Hi, it's Topas8 here in Denmark. Find out if you approach the hobby as before to build stuff fun, law, some places. What brand of tufts do you use on your desert base? I use Army Painter. I believe it's Army Painter. I was given a few by Army Painter and I really like them. Oh, actually, maybe I should have glued the other fit. Hang on, let me just glue him onto the base. Now, a lot of people see me do this, and I don't think a lot of people realise why I do it. Is that I always hang the model off of the base, because it allows me to work underneath it. If I glued it straight on, I'd struggle to kind of reach underneath the miniature. But if I do it this way, I can actually get to him, as you can see. Whereas if he was dead on, it'd be difficult to kind of work up at that angle. So that's why I always do that. People always ask me, why don't I glue stuff onto bases properly when I paint them? Well, it's because I'm painting them. Don't want to sound obvious. Everything's gone green. New order. Nice. So yeah, I've actually got quite a few here, tough wise. I think those are old Games Workshop ones. Those were Geek Gaming. They're definitely Army Painter. I think I've got a few more. Yeah, I have. I've got little flowery ones. I'm sure there should be some more somewhere. Oh no, they're there. Yeah, so I've got the black, the light brown, and then I've got these really cool kind of like flowery ones. I'm pretty sure these used to be called Mordheim tufts. You used to be able to get them in Games Workshop. I think they changed them. I'm not too sure. And these were just some nice bunchy green ones from Geek Gaming that I bought, again, quite a while ago. But I got to admit, I do like the Army Painter ones. They come in quite a few different sizes. And like, no disrespect to the product, because I feel it works in its favour. Like if you don't like how these, and I'll do like a bit here, you can literally just pull out the fibres. You see that? I've just pulled them out. And you can kind of shape the tufts as you want. Like on the guy that I've just done, I didn't want any hanging over the edge, so I can literally just pinch them and just literally pull them out. But they do stick really, really nicely. It's here. Hey, ahoy, small fry. How are you, sir? How are you tonight? But yeah, tufts. I use a lot. I've got some World War Scenics ones. Again, just normal flowery ones. I think I've got purple, red, and blue. Or green, I don't know. But I always add a little dob of super glue to the bottom of my tufts, as I find it just makes it a little bit more permanent, stick a little bit better. And yeah, so that's what I use for tufts. But I'll be honest with you, even like really cheap, shitty tufts are actually pretty good. So today I'm rambling. I've been rambling for about 15 minutes, but we're going to be doing the Dark Angels Blade Guard. We're going to make a start because someone finally, not mention any names, managed to pick up Caliban Green. So, and I've got a nice fancy latte. Oh, that's rather quite pleasant. Right, so what I like to do first. Now, a lot of my method for Dark Angels is dry brushed. I can do them a little bit more layered and a little bit more kind of thoughtful. I don't think we need to worry too much about that in this instance. But what I like to do is I like to get a like a nice sized dry brush. This is a size 5 Artify. I've got an 11 here and all. It's got really, really big bristles. So on my wet palette that I've just got next to me, what I like to do, fresh paint, there we go, look at that, is I'm just gonna get a bit on my brush, like literally you can see that's all I'm using. And I'm actually going to use my wet palette to work it into the bristles, because we'll get a slightly smoother finish anyway. Like if you don't feel confident, you can add like a drop of water or something like that. Alex, very, very kind of you to donate your browser catalog. So saying no, but you're an absolute star. Again, it goes towards stuff that will really help me out. Like I know I'm running out of isopropyl alcohol, so that's definitely on the list. So do you know what? Thank you so much. That will make a massive difference. So thank you very, very much. And yes, Merry Christmas. Christmas is something I will be talking about today, because I love Christmas. And what I'm going to do, just quickly, I'm going to overbrush this complete, because it's just going to kind of balance it out. The primer I use for my Dark Angels at the moment is Renegade Green from the Colourforge, and it's a pretty spot on colour. But I do just like to kind of go over it. You can kind of see the slight difference. I hope you can, where it's slightly darker to slightly lighter where the spray is. I do just find, and the nice thing is, because I've put it on the wet palette, I can just go straight back to it. It's thinned, and it will just give a bit of a more consistent finish. And that way as well, if I do kind of splodge or make any mistakes, I can tidy up Caliban Green. Even though we are going to be kind of going over this with a bit of Warpstone, because that's just how I do my Dark Angels. So here we go. I'm just going to work it all in. I do find an all sometimes, much like, well, you'll see in the chat gets the early preview. In the Raptor I've just did, literally sprayed the whole thing Death Guard green, slapped a load of Agrax Earthshade on it, made sure it really, pulled at the bottoms and that. And then I just reapplied dry brush of Death Guard green. And then I hit it with some Elysium green to kind of get that, like tinge. Otherwise it becomes a bit Death Guardy. So you might want to see this. Yeah, I know Alex has done it again. I've said thanks. I don't. No, this was the that was the Raven Wing. That was this guy. He's still here. This is how bad it's been. There's his shield right there. The Raven Wing guy. I've got them all just in their little individual piles, literally just here. But yeah, so it's definitely cool. This is the one with he had the normal shield, so he's going to kind of have the slightly smaller one He was more in like a bit of an actiony pose, which is this guy here. So yeah, but no, I will. There we go. What I'll probably do is I'll try and get the body finished over a couple of days, because this is where all of like the little fancy detail is. But I do just like to kind of take my time, and because we've got that nice base coat of Caliban green as well. Yes, it is. Yeah, it's the company Venture Sprue, that shield. At least I'm sure it is. 100%. I think so. Yeah. Yes, it is. Yeah, it's the same one that I use for my captain. I'm just trying to think of the build. I've left a bit of blue tack there and bloody sprayed over it. That's all right. Yeah, it doesn't matter if you kind of do this on a towel or anything like that, because you might get like a bit of a, let's say, grainy finish if there's no moisture in your brush, but it's not going to matter because it's almost like a near identical green anyway. It's just slightly lighter. But now that's done, and I do make a point of doing this. I'm going to wash this out really quickly, because I really like these dry brushes, and I used to use the Army Painter ones, the little stubby ones, and they were really good, but I got a little bit lazy towards the end, and I stopped kind of like washing them out, and I absolutely regretted it because it just knackered the brush, and I was so annoyed at myself. They were really lovely dry brushes, short stubby little bristles on them. I think I've still got some that I can use. I've got so many little bits of these guys. There we go. They've got like a really stubby bristle. I really like these Army Painter. They're really good. Just like mine. I'll take another one on the other hand. No, that's exactly it. And I'm only really painting these for me because I don't, I have no intention. These just look pretty on the shelf for me to kind of gawp at when I walk past. So I don't really feel the need to kind of be like, lore accurate, or just, I'd rather be happy with them myself. Is it referring to the brush? That's the mystery of show business. You'll have to interpret that one yourself. No, I'm only joking. It's my penis. Right. Anyway, it's cold today, believe me. So I'm just going to wash this out. That's better. See, it does look like it gets all the green out. It's really good. And it comes with the Artify brush set. I really like that. It's definitely worth doing. But what I like to do now is a black wash. And for that, Badab Black. That's where we are. So give it a good shake. Hooray! Some days it just writes itself. No, I tell you what I am going to do first. I'm going to paint in the gaps in the armor first, because when I wash over it, it's not going to matter. So what I can actually do first is just here. And I'm not talking because I'm actually poking my tongue out like an absolute moron. There we go. Other things that I'm on in January. Hey, you'll get to see the face. Although everyone's seen my face, but it's a rare sight. It's like a rare bird. You please when you do see it, and it makes it that bit more special. I'm actually going on the Inquisition podcast. My buddy Casey, lovely guy. I've known him for quite a while now on Instagram. We're going to. He said, I'd love to have you on. and I noticed he was coming up to his 69th episode. So I was like, who's going to be the 69th? So I was trying to get on, but then he was like, well, I think we've already got someone booked for that, but you can go on. So I was like, okay, fine. So I'm going to be on in January, chatting to the guys from the Inquisition, which I'm actually quite looking forward to. I tend to, I've been asked a few times to do things like interviews, and I just don't think I'm that interesting as a person. British 4th of July, oh God, yeah. It's just, it's not too bad, I'll be honest with you, but we're right by Kempton, which is like a big race course, and they are going off like you would not believe. It's not too bad. If you, like I said, if you hear any bangs or pops or anything like that, it's just the fireworks going off, which is weird because that guy nearly blew up the Houses of Parliament, and we celebrate him. So, that speaks volumes for the British people and how we feel about our own government. Interviews. I have a bit of a love-hate relationship with them. One, I do think they're a little bit like you paint, models. It's nothing special. I don't do anything different to anyone else or anything like that. Like, I'm not some celebrity or anything like that, and I think a lot of people, they go on these things and they kind of get this like a bit of an ego about them, and it's something that I've always tried to avoid. So I turned down a lot of stuff. Like I turned down, this was many years ago, a channel called Scaredcast. Scaredcast. I think he's something to do with mini wargaming. Just purely because he had people that he had interviewed before, and I didn't want to be associated with those people. And I think whether you know someone, and I know it's easy to go, look, we look at the person, not the hobby, not the person. But that's like saying, would you interview Hitler if he had a nicely painted army? Of course you wouldn't. So why do you, and you give a platform to other people and you enable them? And it's always kind of really put me off doing stuff, because I think, I don't want to be associated with these people. And I said to the guy, I was like, nah. And he was like, oh yeah, but we've had Duncan Rhodes on. And I was like, nah, don't really care about all that. And it's almost like the guy couldn't accept that I had said no to him. This was quite a few years ago. And that's the kind of stance I've always taken with kind of people and situations like that. I do try and be quite, like I try and hold my integrity above all else, and I've said before, miniature painting is great and all, but it's not really even the most interesting thing I do. So there's that. But I do find as well, the questions sometimes can be a bit, it's going to sound horrible, but not really worth my time, because I'm going to sit aside for an evening. I'm a parent, I work a lot, and I'm going to sit down just to answer what my favorite color is. And you think, really, is that what was the first miniature you painted? Oh, if you can only paint one miniature forever, what would it be? And you think, do you really? I've done this 10 times already. Can you just go and talk to someone else, will you? I'd just rather be doing my own thing in my own little environment and doing things that way. And I think that's just message retracted. Who's going back on what they're saying, eh? Come on, spit it out, chat. What have you got? And I just, yeah, so that's where I am. But I am looking forward to it. I know, like I said, I know Penchammer Casey pretty well. We went to Salou together. this year. It was great fun. He's a lovely guy, actually. So actually, don't tell him I said that, but he is a lovely guy. I said Finecast. Oof, controversial. Botsman Land Raider, Laser Sponsons, Devastator Heavy Putters. These Space Marine, Shadow Sword, green or bone white. Maybe I'll figure it out. So I had to publish the message. What I like the idea of, Alex, is I do intend to kind of grab something big for a Christmas project. I try and do like a big video because obviously being a dad, Christmas, the hobby just takes a back seat because, you know, for my family, dare I say, you know, I love you guys, but the family's more important. So I tend to spend a lot more time with, you know, those. So I tend to just do one big video. Last year I did my Dreadnought. Well, what I was thinking, you know, Asmodee is a great option, don't get me wrong. And I'm, you know, I tend to get a little bonus from work every year. So I might have a little splurge on the kits that I'm missing, like the Companions and Asmodee. However, I'm thinking of like a tank, but like an Executioner tank. Now, we've all seen the Brutalis, the quartered Brutalis Dreadnought I did. Still to this day, some people find really offensive and they don't understand that it's just, you know, my way of painting something. Anyway, like an Executioner, but I'm going to quarter it in the colours of the Fifth Company. And I like the idea of that. I like Land Raiders, but sometimes I look at them and I think, oh man, it looks so cool. And then sometimes I'll see them from a different angle and go, that looks stupid. So I don't know, maybe like something Raven Wingy. I don't know. This is the problem. I get so indecisive. I think once I'm there and I'm like, look, the shop's not going to be open for, you know, a few weeks. I'm not going to be able to get down there for Christmas. What am I going to do? I'll just grab something and make a decision. But I would definitely think. I don't have a tank for my Dark Angels, and I think it's what's missing. I got a couple of Dreads, you know, I got some Termies, I got some Knights, you know, I've got the Lion, I've got some, you know, there's some banners, but I haven't got, like, I'm not saying a centerpiece, because the Lion and, you know, the Redemptors are quite visually striking. They're bigger, I could put more time into them and stuff like that. But like a big thing on the shelf, you know, to kind of, so I'm leaning towards a tank of some sorts. Samael, well, no, I think he needs to be redone, because I'll be damned in hell if I'm spending my Christmas working with Finecast. You can forget that 100%. And I also think that model needs serious updating. I'm not going to lie. I think the Raven Wing side needs some attention. And I think that subconsciously, deep down, that's one of the reasons why I haven't added bikes and stuff like that. Because I think outside of the bikes and the Knights, like Samael, it's Finecast. And I feel it's a little bit lacking, shall we say. But that's just my opinion of it, you know. I will do some Ravenwing bikes 100%, but I think it needs a bit of an update before I wet that whistle, so to speak. Right, I'm just gonna touch in some Caliban where I have slightly splodged. It wasn't too bad. Bit there, bit around there, that's fine. Where are we? Okay, just there. You're not really going to see that because his pauldron will go on, but I know it's there, and I can't sleep at night like that. I can't live my life like that. I just keep back to my own Dark Angels, Sabriel, Accurate Walker in guns. Lots of fun. See, 30k is. We've spoken this a few times on lives and that. I don't really know much about the Horus Heresy in general. Just that Magnus did absolutely everything wrong. I like the idea of doing a vintage Dark Angels faction. May the whistle always be wet. And Interrogate Chaplain is saying, right, so that's something on my radar. They do a plastic Interrogate Chaplain, but he's so, and it's time to start counting, he's very giddy. And I don't know, I think he needs a bit of kind of work to kind of bring him up to scale. Like an Interrogate Chaplain like that would not fit in with a Primaris force, and that's a shame actually, because by the looks of it, it's a cool model, but he's so small. I've just noticed I've missed a nub there, so I'm just going to take it off and paint over it. And that's my issue with it. I would like to do, I think it would be very easy to do actually. I'd like to do an Ezekiel. I would like to do, like I said, Ravenwing. There's a lot I really wanted to do, and I had tended, because I learnt about him earlier in the year. I'd love to do a kit bash with Core Swain, because I think that geese is pretty damn cool. Much like my Balthazar kit bash that I ended up doing, like a what if Core Swain crossed the Rubicon Primaris, I think would be great. The Primaris Chaplain is a lovely model, absolutely. Parts of the Dark Angels Comedy Veterans kit, you could probably do it really easily. And I made a Rhino Breacher with lots of evergreen, extra armor, and a assault gun turret. Lower profile, actually very pleased with it. Do you know, if you've ever, are you on Instagram, Alex, or anything like that? You know, I'd love to see some of these, like the stuff you do. If you can, shoot me over some pictures. I'd love to see it. I've got a few options. I just need to iron out the schedule. I think next year, hopefully, I'll be in kind of a breaks until I think it's the 6th of January. And then I really want to try and kind of get like a bit of a schedule and a plan. I tried to do that at the beginning of the year. And although I managed to do some of them, I didn't get all of them done. I feel quite bad that, you know, I feel like I've got projects hanging over me. It can be a little bit off-putting. But I think I'm definitely going to try and be a bit more on time with things is a really good way of saying it. If I had an account for any social media besides Discord, I would be sending them in. Murph, if you want the email in my about section, cattlerabbit@outlook.com, just email me the pictures if you want. I like happily, you know. In actual fact, what I should be doing for chat, if you're in the chat right now or you're watching from the future or anything like that, like I'm going to give it, I don't know, I'll give it a week. If you email me pictures of work or things that you're proud of, I will put them in my community section on YouTube, and I'll show them off to people, because, you know, I think it's absolutely fantastic. You know, definitely let me know. You know, if you want me to do something like that for people, I'll happily, you know, I would love to. I think it'd be great to show off what my community also does as well. Itu Avin1. Evening all, how are you, sir? Hope you're well. Right, that's been touched up. Way, that's what she said. Badab Black. I've been using this. I got given this. It's one of the old ones, and I really like it. But I've been using, instead of Agrax Earthshade at the moment, this from Darkstar, Murky Maya. This is also a really, really, really good wash. So I'm going to give it a really good shake. Again, the jokes just write themselves. Do you know what? Hey, look, Josh is in the chat. He was lurking. I see him. Josh actually sent me these. He actually sent me some really, really cool ones. he sent me Leviathan Purple, and I'm sure there was one more. Yeah, it is. It's God, my eyes are awful. Azerman Blue. So I just I thought that just said I'm sending a feet pic through email. Please don't do that. Please don't do that, because I will just put them on my feet OnlyFans page. So anyway, I'm only joking. I don't post feet on there, right? Yeah, Josh, this one here, this Bad Ab Black is so good. So it's now my go-to black wash. The only problem is when it runs out, I'm going to be absolutely knackered, because I don't think I can get this anymore. So also, look, upside down bases, use them as little palettes. Love it. What we do, I do. I'm just going to coat the whole thing in a black wash. Again, if you've seen my How to Paint Dark Angels videos, it's that. I don't do anything different. I still don't do anything different. I've always got quite a good consistent effect. You don't need to be incredibly, like, you know, spot on with this. You can kind of just go over it and let it do its thing. Don't worry too much about it pooling or anything like that, because we are going to go back over it. This is just a kind of, it will just add a nice, you know, bit of transition from any recessed panels or anything like that. And that's it. It's super easy to do this section. This is the fun, messy part. But we're just going to go over kind of like effectively the whole model. It doesn't really matter too much again about the black in the where the armor lining is, because again it's black over black. Don't matter. So I can fit on a community post on YouTube 5 images. So if 5 people send me pictures of their work who are in chat to cattlerrabbit@outlook.com, I'll happily, you know, if you guys are ever like, I've done this and I'm so proud of it, send me a picture, because I would love to show it off. Like, people's work deserves to be seen, especially if you're proud of something. Do it, but only if you want to. But you know, if you want to, then definitely do it, and I'll happily brag about it. I'll see. I'm going to ignore. Wow, them fireworks! I don't know whether you guys can hear the little popping sounds in the background. It's really going off now. I must say, my poor little sausage dog, he's not having a good time at the moment. He is petrified of fireworks, like, just stupidly. He goes up into the bedroom and he gets under the covers, and bless him, he really shakes. He's such a dear little thing. And to top it all off, I think one of the dogs is on heat round here, and he has been an absolute pest these last few days. I feel really bad for him. Pets, eh? Who would have them? I would. I'd have them all. I love them. Someone said, Josh, I saw that 4:30 this morning. That is awful. It's just, you know what? Yeah, there's no point complaining. It happens every year. You know, it's right next to religious festivals. We've got Diwali, then we've got fireworks night. You think we'd be used to it by now, but being, you know, British, we love to complain. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. And I would ban the things if I could. I think they're awful. Maybe I've got repressed memory. I was at my nan's house with all my cousins, and I remember my cousin had put a sparkler in a bucket of water the wrong way, he kind of like flipped it in and it kind of went like that. And I grabbed it and it was piping hot and it burnt my hand. And I remember laying on my nan's sofa. I was only about 4 or 5. I was really young. And she come out and she, like, we never had popcorn and stuff in the house when I was younger. And she brought out this popcorn and she sat with me. My auntie Kathy, that was. I always remember that. Yeah, someone got a shot. It was so loud. It's the Russians coming. You know what? Put me out my. At least I won't have to go to work on a Monday. Right, so we are going to let that dry. I guess I have made a small error really, because if I had maybe primed the backpack or something, I could have worked on that while this was drying. Let's face it, I'm not that smart and I'm not that well organized, so we're just going to have to deal with it. However, I think it's quite warm in my little studio. I had the little heater on earlier, so let's hope it. Let me just move those bits around, and then we can go back to dry brushing and get those bits done. So nice. Who ordered the new Kill Team starter set? Josh, I'll speak to you about that tomorrow. Who ordered that? Is anyone? What do we think about the MDF terrain? Let's talk about it. See, MDF Games Workshop doing printed MDF terrain. Yay, nay? What are we thinking? What are our thoughts on that? I sent to IM. Right, bear with me because I'm old. What's IMG? Let me put up my emails quickly. Let's have a super quick look. Got it. Beautiful. Lovely. Let's have a nose. I'm going to have a nose now. Let's have a quick nose. Let's have a quick nose. Oh, I love it. Oh, I love it. What have we got? Oh, yeah. Look at that Termy. Oh, I love him. There we go, Murph. There he is. I've got the same one on my shelf. Love it. What a fantastic model. You've done a fan. Oh, I love it. I like the blue robes, actually. That's really cool. It makes it really pop. It's, again, you see, I just wish he was a bit bigger and I'd love to paint him up. But, you know, stand him next to like a Primaris and he's actually smaller. So, nice. I love it. I love it. Love seeing it. And you've got a few more on the go there. What's the old looking dreadnought thing there on the left? Is that just one of the little diddy ones? Hey! Or is that... Who else you got there? Oh, you got the Hurricane missile launch Termini. You got the dude. Ah, I love it. I love seeing it. Do you know what's nice? Because this looks quite clear, but my desk, your desk makes me feel better about my desk, because the amount of crap you can't see just either side where I push everything over to one side is rotten. What I'll do is afterwards, I'll take a picture of my desk setup and you can see, please, it's almost like saying, please don't tell people I live like this. Please don't do that. It's, yeah, it's great. No, thank you so much for sending through. I'll pop them up. If anyone wants to, again, send me pictures of, you know, their work and stuff like that. The email's in my about section for a reason. Just send them. Oh, who's this now? Oh God, what is this? I love emails like this. You go in my junk folder. Hi, I'm Pan from Pixability, a Google certified partner. And you've already screamed scam, right? Love it. Love it. Diddy. Whoop. Don't remember about. Yeah, I will do. Oh, yeah, I'll give you a call maybe tomorrow, Josh, and we'll have a bit of a catch up, and I'll chat to you. We'll sort it out tomorrow, and that. So we're just going to wait for this guy to kind of. I'm tempted to give him a quick blast with the hairdryer. Just bear with me for 2 seconds. Okay, that should encourage it to dry just that little bit quicker. Let's just, if it will stay, so in the morning. Okay, brilliant. Yeah, no, I'll give you a call at some point. I've got to go into work really early tomorrow. Bless my boss was cleaning. His daughter does horse riding, and he was doing Saturday. I was actually out with my daughter, and he was out. It got up to clean the horse box, and he'd slipped off the top of it and basically landed on his head. He's got 2 orbital fractures of the eye socket, fractured his cheekbone and skull, and his head's really swollen up. So he's not going to be in anytime soon. So I'm going to go in and cover in the morning. So I'm going to go in a little bit earlier and just kind of do a little bit extra and help everyone out. So yeah, poor guy, man. So hey, Fraser, how are you, mate? You all right? Yeah, that's, yeah, I mean, bloody hell. But yes, so that's, I'll be in work really early tomorrow. I'll probably be in at 7, so it'll be a very early start tomorrow for me. But I'll give you a call. Yeah, I'm okay. So I spoke to you on Facebook. The knee, oh my God, the knee was so painful. Like the minute the antibiotics start kicking in, and I'm like, oh my God, I can start to bend my leg again. It's just, oh, yeah, that was something else. Like, it's weird, like the fracture. So it's really bearable some days, or some days you'll just bend down and you'll go, oh no, I can't bend like that at the moment. And then some days you've kind of got this niggling pain where obviously the fracture's reopened because it's not braced or strapped. So you're kind of like, oh, that's fine. But bloody hell, that Thursday, I had to take Thursday and Friday off work about 2 weeks ago, and I couldn't even bend it. The kneecap started to swell and come out and everything. Bloody hell, mate. Honestly, that was some pain for like 4 days. And then on the Sunday, I could kind of like bend it about 10 degrees. It was bad. So yeah, I can, Jesus Christ, not bending your leg makes you remember all the times you could bend your leg and you took it for granted. So yeah, he's fine. He was discharged. Obviously he's taken a bloody good whack, and he's going to have a headache for a couple of days. He gave himself a bit of a concussion as they found him passed out, but he has been discharged. He is at home, so he is on the mend. Yeah, I am off work on Friday. Unfortunately, my godfather recently passed away. So it's the funeral as well. So Friday I'll be attending the funeral. Shane, loved the guy to absolute bits. He was such a lovely man. He really was. I've always been a bit of an advocate for when people turn around and say, you know, about people, they go, oh, he was lovely. He was lovely. Yeah, but he did set that house on fire. He was a bit of an arse, wasn't he? You know, people are always kind of don't, you know, tend to, but he was such a nice man. He just, he loved his DVDs and his movies, and he just lived in this little cottage, and he just, you know, just did his own thing, and was just an absolutely, you know, growing up, I loved spending time with him. As I got older, he became more and more reclusive and stuff like that, so it was hard to kind of get to see him. But I would still talk to him, and he was just an absolute star of a person. So yeah, it's, you know. Oh, the one in the, oh yeah, that one. Yeah, I thought you meant that one. Sorry, mate. Yeah, so look, on the 22nd, I'm sure I've told you guys before. Josh is winning an award because he's fucking Warhammer hero. And he's in the chat. He's my mate. Yeah. And I'm going as Josh's +1. And we recently found out it's an open bar. It's an open, but can we just appreciate that for a minute? And the actual state I'm going to get in at the expense of Games Workshop. For every time I've gone in there and had to pay full price for like a box of fucking Space Marines, I'm going to drink 5 pints and get my money back. So, yeah. It's Fraser knows. Fraser, we've been out for quite a few beers over the years. I like a beer, always have done. Me and Josh have got a twin room. We've got staying in a little twin room in a fancy hotel. But so we doesn't feel we're going to push the twin beds together and make one big epic double. And Josh has agreed to be Big Spoon because I like to feel safe and secure at night, and that's exactly what Josh will be doing. He's going to take me in his big strong arms and make me feel like a little boy again. Oh, I love it. I can't wait. But all jokes aside, it's going to be a fantastic weekend. I've got some stuff planned because it's actually Josh's birthday. He's travelling up on his birthday. It's going to be, I've got some stuff in the bag, and I can't wait. It's going to be really, really good. I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be so much fun. It really is. And it's nice just to have a little bit of a break, isn't it? So that's what we're going to be doing. I might even film some of it. Whee! So there we go. Right, this is dry enough for me to start actually doing stuff to it. Otherwise, this is going to be a really uneventful video where I've just applied a wash and we've watched it dry together for half an hour. So what I do is I go back to Caliban Green, and I'm just going to pass it over. I'm not going to be really thorough or anything like that. I'm just kind of buffing it on to kind of catch those ridges and things like that, just so, you know, that Badab Black is going to be in the recesses, but we've got a bit of more, you know, kind of where we are to Caliban Green. Because I do it on a wet palette as well, I've retained the moisture in the bristles, so you actually get a really smooth finish with a dry brush instead of a chalky finish, and you get a really, really nice transition, and you're going to get a really nice flat kind of finish to it, which is definitely what I'm looking for in this kind of instance. Yeah, so Josh doesn't drink a lot, and I do ring Josh when I'm drunk, because, and I always think that is not annoying. I think that's a privilege, because I'm so inebriated that I can't actually talk. Yet in my head, I'm going, I want to speak to my mate Josh. You know, I'm not of sound mind, but I still want Josh. I think that's one of the biggest compliments you get. I think drunken phone calls are one of the biggest compliments you can ever get, or give a friend. If you really love someone, call them drunk and tell them how much you love them, and be interested, and, you know, talk about them, because I think that is just one of the nicest things. 2 pints in about 6 months for me. You'll be doing that in about 20 minutes. Sent close up in Dread and Primaris insert. Nice one. I won't keep switch because I really need to kind of start doing this. If anyone else wants to send me stuff again, please do. I'd love to stick some work out on community articles for people. Just showing off your guys' work. If you're proud of your stuff, then do it. cattlerabbit@outlook.com. Just email me some pictures. Work in progress pictures, what you're working on, ones you're really proud of, ones you've already painted. Just send me some pictures and I'll pop them up. Yes, please. Yeah, do you know what, Fraser? Either the Howling Griffins or those blue and white ones you were doing, because they were really striking. They were really, really nice, definitely. No, all jokes aside, we are looking forward to it, and Josh absolutely deserves to be spoiled and looked after, and we're going to have an absolutely fantastic time. I can't wait. It's a privilege to see my friend accept this award, And I can't wait. I really am. Nova Marines, that's the ones. Love them. Yeah, send us some of those. Now, what I do is, just quickly, we're not doing salamanders, but I'm going to get some Warpstone green here. I'm literally going to put this straight onto my brush, and on the same patch that I actually just did my Caliban green, same type of thing. I'm just going to mix it in on my wet palette, so it's a little bit more vibrant. Look at that. That's perfect. What we want. And I'm just going to flick it over. The nice thing about this way is if you kind of feel that you want to kind of put like a bit more color anywhere, you can make a really watery Warpstone Caliban mix and almost like glaze it on, and it just adds just a little bit of kind of like variation. Like I said, we're not trying to do salamanders here, but we do just want a bit of, I guess, vibrancy to them. Well, that's how I like mine. I always kind of when I have to do like painting videos, I always feel bad because you're like, how to paint so and so, but it's not how to paint, it's how I paint them and how I like them. So that's where I kind of, you know, you have to do the whole YouTube thing in that regard. But I always consider myself quite a self-aware individual like that, and I do think sometimes, oh, Rob, shut the fuck up. But it's one of those necessary evils, unfortunately, of social media that you kind of have to conform to, which is a bit of a, you know. But we can just kind of, like I said, I'm not going to worry about too much. Like that knee pad's going to have the symbol on. Now this is a great example why I stick my model over. It's because I can actually work underneath it, so I can actually get all the way around this kind of leg guard here, so we can actually get quite a nice transition. Just it's all about getting that nice smooth transition. Things that I look for is, see how the legs are like forward, so I'll pay special attention to these, and I'll kind of give them like a bit more going over. And like here, I know it sounds silly, but just that side bit there that's facing you, because on the shelf that's what I'm going to see. So I'll kind of like add a bit more of a bit of a, not say heavier dry brush, but I'll just be a bit more firmer and take it from there. Like I'm not going to worry about the inside of his arm, because you really aren't going to see that. So there's no point you kind of spending all that time doing it, you know, in my opinion. But if it's going to be like a painting piece, you're probably not going to use this method anyway, because it's quite basic. You're probably going to like glaze on transitions and things, and you know, so that's just something to be careful of. How did I hurt my leg? I don't know. And that is the God's honest truth. So I did a 10k run for Hodgkin's lymphoma in March. It was only 10k at Hyde Park. Did it with my buddy. You know, we'd done loads of training, you know, for the, you know, coming up to it and stuff like that. Nothing out of the ordinary. I hadn't done a run for a few months, so I thought I'll be sensible. I'm not going to push myself, and I didn't. You know, I wasn't trying to beat a time or anything like that. You know, I was 38 at the time. You know, so I'm aware that I am getting older, and my buddy just kind of went off and did his thing, and I think he did it in 55 minutes. I was an hour and 7. When I wanted to have a drink, I would slow down, walk, then drink, because I don't like to gasp or gulp while I'm running. If you run and you try and take like a swig of water, people know you always like you put yourself out of breath. If I felt a little bit kind of like out of puff, I would be like, right, I'm just going to slow down for a minute and walk for a sec, you know, till I get my breath back, you know, which I did a couple of times. Like I'm not trying to be a big tough guy here or anything like that. Yeah, I probably could have pushed through, but didn't want to, because, you know, I was quite sensible. and I'm aware that I hadn't, been doing that much training, and it's been a while since I'd done a run. So I did take it really, really easy. And then I didn't stumble, I didn't trip, I didn't misstep or anything like that. It was fine. That day was my friends. I think they left for Australia for a year, and I went down a pub, had a couple of pints of Guinness, as I do. Walked home, and was fine. I was up dancing that day. All right, my feet hurt a little bit, but it was it was perfectly fine. No worries whatsoever. And then the next day I woke up and it felt like the outside of my right leg, where my kneecap is here, it's like someone had punched the outside of my leg, and it was so painful. And I was like, bloody hell, like, wow, what's gone on there? Like, maybe I slept funny, or have I knocked it in the night or anything like that? Anyway, I mean, I know most people do it. You sit there and you're like, it'd be fine. It'd be fine. So you kind of just give it a little bit of time to kind of do its thing, and it stopped kind of hurting a little bit. It wasn't unbearable. It was painful, but it wasn't like an unbearable pain. And then it was fine for about, I don't know, 2 weeks. And then the pain come back again. It's almost like someone had like punched it, and it felt like the knee was really bruised on the outside. There wasn't a bruise there, but like that's the only way I can describe it. And then it started to feel like a toothache in your kneecap, which is, something that it's now. Anyway, I went to the doctors and they said, oh, you've done this run. You've got a lot of fluid on your knee. And I was kind of like, have I? Like, I'm pretty sure my knee always looks like that. And they signed me off for 2 weeks. So I did. I stayed at home. I kept my foot up. I was bored out of my mind. Fine. And then I went back to work. Everything was okay. A couple of weeks later, I start to get this pain again. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's not good. So, I walked it off, and it would last 3 or 4 days a time. And it was like, okay, it's not unbearable, but don't get me wrong, it's not pleasant. And so I was like, right, okay, fine. This went on a couple of times, and I said to my partner, I was like, I think I've done something here. And she said, well, get yourself in the doctors again. So I went in the doctors, and the guy took one look at me and he went, that's gout. And I went, gout? And he went, yes, it's gout. And I was like, no disrespect. Well, it's a bit of an old man's disease, isn't it? It's gout, isn't it? And he was like, no. It's gout. And I was like, oh, okay. He said, you need to drink more water. And I said, well, I drink about 2 litres of water a day, mate. I said, look at me. I said, I'm not a big guy, all right. I have a little bit of a beer gut, but I wouldn't say that I'm, and Fletcher 2 Gaming, maybe. Hello, how are you? I'm regaling chat with my leg story about how I fractured my knee and how it dragged on for so bloody long. And yeah, so the guy he went, no, it's gout. I was like, oh, okay. So he said, yeah, drink more water. And I was like, well, I drink about 2 litres of water a day. And he went, oh, well, that's good. And then, again, I mean, I'm 6 foot tall, I'm 13 stone. I walk a hell of a lot. I'm always out. I've got quite a physical job. I was in the building game for 14 years, ground maintenance for 2 years, building a hire industry for 5 years. It's only really the last 6 years of my life that I've been desk-based at my job. But even then, I'm in and out of the warehouse, aircraft parts, I'm handling them, I'm inspecting them, I'm up and down the stairs, I walk everywhere, I'm always out with my dog. I'm not exactly, I would say that I am fairly in shape for, someone my age, 39, and I don't really feel my age. And then he said it was and he prescribed me an anti-inflammatory called Cosadine. He said, "I'll give it a couple of days. Let me know." He said, "This will sort you out." I went, "All right." So I started taking this Cosadine, and I was, did it go away any quicker? No. So I rang him up and he went, "How are you feeling?" I went, "Well, about the same." I said, "I don't feel it did it any quicker." And he went, "Oh, right." He said, "Well, you better come back in then." So I went back in again and he went, "Oh, yeah, it's gout." He said, you need to exercise more. Now, prior to this, I didn't know, this was the situation, but I actually climbed Snowdonia for charity. I did it for, again, Lymphoma Action. We actually took the Watkins Trail up. And which is one of the hardest trails, and then we took the Ride Doo down, which is along the spine of the mountain, and admittedly it did start to hurt on the way down, but was fine on the way up. And I did say to the guy, he was like, "Oh, you need to exercise more," and I was like, "Well, I climbed Snowdonia like a month ago, and I breezed it." And he went, "Oh, well, that's good." So then he went, "I'm going to give you this now." So he prescribed me naproxen, and he said my toe was infected, and I'm like, "It's not my toe, it's my kneecap." He's like, "Oh, it's your knee now." I was like, "It was my knee last time. What are you going on about?" And he's like, "Oh, your toe looks infected." Now, my mum's always said I've got Freddie Flintstone feet because I've got big toes. Like, I've got a big toe on both sides. I don't know whether it's, whatever, but, that's what's always kind of said. And I think he prescribed me antibiotics. I went, "All right, fine. I'm not a doctor. I don't know." So we did that. And then I had naproxen, which is really, really heavy. It's one of the strongest anti-inflammatories you can get here. But then you have to take something called Lansoprol, because naproxen on its own can cause stomach ulcers. So, yeah. I kind of was like, "All right, fine, yeah, whatever." Well, the Cosadine, naproxen was making me feel really sick, and which I couldn't. In the end, I stopped taking it, and I went back, and I've hobbled into the GP surgery again, and he went, "Oh, you don't look too good," and I went, "I've looked like this the last 3 times I've come into you." He went, "Oh, we better sign you off." I'm like, "But you didn't sign me off the last 2 bloody times." At this point, again, I'm aware of my shortcomings as a human. I'm starting to get really annoyed at this guy, because he just seems to, he's made a diagnosis and he was going to stick to it. And I was like, "Right, okay, fine." He said, "Go and get an x-ray." I went, "I'll go now." I said, "I'll just go now and get it done." No, we'll refer you." I went, "I'm going to go first thing tomorrow morning." He went, "Oh, we'll refer you. So anyway, I went to the thing, and they x-rayed me and they had a look, and they were like, "Well, we're going to refer you to a orthopedic trauma specialist because we're not quite sure what's going on." I suffer with something called Osgood-Schaffer disease. So when I had my growth spurt in my teens, my bones grew quicker than my muscles, so the muscles are ever so slightly stretched, and your tibia starts to grow an extra bit of bone, and it can act like a lesion and rub on the inside of your muscle. I'm sorry, this has become like Grey's Anatomy now. Shut up, listen to me. And they said, well, that could be a contributing factor. So they then referred me to the orthopedic trauma specialist. It's only there on a Monday, so I had to attend that Monday because there was a cancellation. So I was then referred for an MRI, and this is where they found the fracture on the lateral side. He said the problem we've got is the x-rays that we already took weren't from an angle where you could see it, because you needed to be a bit more. He said, so we haven't really picked it up. He said, but you've got it's a subchondral fracture on the lateral peninsula of my kneecap. So there's the split sideways as opposed to kind of like dead on. So it's there. That's why I kept getting that really bad pain on the outside of my knee. And yeah, so that's where I am. And he was like, "We're going to get you in ASAP to get it strapped up." And I was like, "Hang on." I said, "You're not going to make me look like Forrest Gump now, are you?" And he kind of laughed. He went, No. You're fine. but I'm still waiting. Actually going on the 15th of November to get the strap fitted, and that's it. That's my whole. That's from March this year to November. So it's been 8 months that I've been struggling, and for 7 months they didn't even know it was a fractured kneecap. So it's been a slog. It's been really trying. It's been painful. I do find this year my tolerance for things is non-existent because I'm in a constant pain, and I know I can be a little bit snappy, you know, especially at work, which isn't anyone's fault. It's my fault, really. I should know better. But it's just been an absolute slog. So yes, that was how it got infected, why it got infected, why it took so long to be diagnosed as an actual fracture, because the guy had his heart set on it being gout. To top it all off, I'd already been for the X-ray, the MRI, been referred to the orthopaedic specialist. I then got the letter from my GP saying, you can go and get that X-ray. And I think, wow, the NHS really is knackered, isn't it? So there we go. Let me just catch up on chat. Sorry. Let me. Oh, blimey, I've missed loads. I hope you've all been listening to me. There will be a test at the end. So how did in the leg? Painting my Deaf Company dread. I'm glad I practiced my Deaf Company scheme. That's the Blood Angels. Yes, Blood Angels. Yep. Okay. Maybe the missus slept. Yeah, she probably hit me. What you painting? So fetch your toe. Maybe. Sorry. Dark Angels Blade Guard for one of the Lions Guard. It's one in each chapter. We're starting with the Dark Angels guy. Although all I've really done is talk for about an hour. To have something. So yeah. So recently I've been in a lot of agony with it, and I think I've had a few infections in my knee it's really caused me problems. I said about 2 weeks ago I could barely even bend it, and they put me on some fluoxetine to kind of clear it up. My God, it was the pain's always there, and the best way I can describe it is like having a toothache in your kneecap, but I can point to both parts. I get one in the top and one at the bottom, and it's just, some days it's bearable, some days it niggles me, but yeah, that was absolutely awful. I'm a 69 kid. Way, so perfectly know what you're talking about. I see you must, Alex, you must have some creaks and cracking joints that you didn't have 10 years ago, my man, and I'm sorry to hear that. That's not the only, he's got big. Oh, hey! Oh, it's a heart. Okay, it's not. It's like a baby's arm holding an apple. Josh knows. Run, Forrest, run. All right, yeah, all right. Forrest Gump chat. Here we go. Oh no, not a test. The answer's always C. Same happened to me when I was a kid. Growth plate in my foot broke and nobody noticed. When it was my foot hurt, couldn't run. Yeah, the thing is, like the guy said, problems with knees is that you're constantly moving it. They're a moving joint, you know, and I get that. He said it's not like it's a fracture on like the middle of your leg. Although the leg moves, the bone is, you know, it holds its shape, but the knee, you know, it's a moving part. He said so that's why. So I've got to be in this strap for 6 weeks. I go in it on the 5th of November. I come out on the 6th of January. They're going to remove it. I hate wearing stuff like that, I've got to admit. But then they're going to obviously re-X-ray, MRI, stuff like that, yada, yada, yada. If I'm still getting the pains, then they'll talk about surgery, because it might just need a little bit of an aid. Obviously, the concern is that I've been walking along on it for so long before treatment has been kind of, you know, done. So yeah, it's bad. Yeah, exactly, like cutting the knuckles. Your hands always, you know, contracting, you know, with the knee, the muscles always going over. So it's one of those things. 3 consecutive cushions around a month or 2. What? Why? I shouldn't laugh. 3, you go 1, oh mate, you're all right. 2, you go, bloody hell, you're unlucky. 3, you're like, all right, you little attention seeker, what are you doing? Like, surely you could have found a better hobby to do than get concussions. Come on now. But yeah, so, and on the foot, yeah. Do you know what? I think I did something similar. It's the bone that's on the bottom of your foot. I went to see a band play one night and I got really drunk. And in Kingston Town Centre, there's this art piece of all these toppled phone boxes. So they start kind of like fallen and eventually they stand up. Me being me, I was so drunk, I ran up this kind of sculpture and jumped off. Walked home fine. My God, I got up the next day and I went to put pressure on my foot. And yeah, I'd snapped the little bone at the bottom. And they were like, there's nothing you do about it, you just got to let it heal. I was like, nice. It was agony. It really was. It was really bad. But I will say this, I've never broken a bone. Touch wood. Not to jinx myself, I've never broken a bone. But what I do need to do is get a bloody wriggle on with this. So the arm is kind of done there, as you can. I hope we can see that. So we've got like a nice bit of variation. You know, the lights hitting the greaves, I believe they're called. You know, and it looks. We've got some nice kind of shading. Once I add some moot green as a nice sharp highlight, that should kind of pop really, really well. Which is, you know, that's really all I will do with the armor, in all honesty. I don't think it needs more than that. So I am going to move on to a color. I don't know what it is, but I love working with this color. If I can find it, God, I need some extra light in here. And I'm going to do Carrick Stone on the robes as a base color, because I'm going to give them cream robes, because I'll line them. So had to me when I work as an audio video technician at a conference centre, so I'm well aware of so back knee. It was still some of you know. I got to admit, like I said, it's strange because I never really suffered with anything. Like I said, I've always been really active. I'm always out and about doing things. As soon as I turned 39, it's almost like the body's gone, well, you know how old you're going to be next year. And it's just gone, nah, you ain't doing that anymore. And it's just like, I know people say like it's all downhill from there. But honestly, I never had so many bloody health issues in my life since I turned 39. It's absolutely ridiculous. I've never broke a bone, but I've ripped my ligament in my right knee skateboarding when I was a teenager. Needed surgery a few years later on. With the way you've been describing the gout, sounds like it's between the patella and the tibula and the fibula. I had the letter, but I took it into work. Funny enough, I had it on my desk here for ages because I couldn't remember the actual. It's a subchondral fracture on the lateral peninsula of the kneecap, or something like that. It's got them words in it. It might have a couple more in, but that's what it is. True story, skateboards actually scare me quite a bit. Because when I was younger, we, you know, all my mates we would kind of meet up. I always had a little BMX. I was always on my little bike. I loved it, you know. And my good buddy at the time, he was really into skateboarding. He would watch like, you know, skateboard video. I think Tony Hawk did a like how to skateboard video, and he bought it. He was like obsessed with it. And he was actually getting quite good on it, if I'm honest with you. But he would be like, "Oh, do you want to have a go?" And I think one day, like my bike had a flat, and I was like, "Oh, come on in, let's have a go." And I remember I was outside my friend James Lamb, his name was. I was outside his house, Lansbury Avenue. He had the very first house as you turned into the avenue on the left. And he had this little kind of gap. It was about, I don't know, 6 inches where he had his, like, it was stones for like drainage that he would put like plants in and stuff like that. And I was standing on my mate's skateboard, and I swear to God, I was standing dead still. But all of a sudden, the skateboard just went yonk, and I went that way. It went that way into like this gravel, and my butt cheek, I fell, and it landed half on the gravel, which obviously like it is a bit more springy because it's like stones or mud, and I caught the edge of the concrete across my butt cheek, and I actually thought I dislocated my butt cheek for ages. It hurt so much, and I never got on a skateboard after that again. Like I admire and fear the skateboard. It's not for me. Hoverboards, absolutely. Yeah, no, that's fine. I'm down with that. More Dark Angels. More Dark Angels. The ones that the chat has helped me build over the last couple of months. We're finally painting them. So I needed some Caliban green. I finally got it. Finally managed to pick it up. So yeah, we're full steaming ahead. I say we're full steaming ahead. We're just talking. Dark Angels, the best chapter, as we all know. So yeah, skateboards, terrifying. Have we got any fun mishaps in the chat? Anything you look back now and go, at the time that really hurt, but how we laugh about it now. Is there any of those? Is there something that we can? I've never been one after I did my knee. Catching the bridge of my nut. Ouch! I started Cast Space Marine Army the other day by using whatever. Nice. I like the Mauler Fiends. Yeah, cool. Mauler Fiends and Forge Fiends. I always get the two mixed up. Which is the ones that has like the teeth on the extra teeth on the side? Is that the Mauler Fiend? Because I like those ones. Those are cool. Would you say Angel Green from Army Painter? Okay, so yeah, sorry, you mentioned that the other day. Now, I think any dark green would do, as long as it leans more towards like that deeper green, as opposed to like a more yellowy green. I think you're fine, really. Like it's got to have, I guess, more blue than yellow, if that makes sense, because of like how they mix it. I will give me 2 seconds. I'm going to look at the color right now. I know they do a lot of like not like alternatives, but like color match paints to certain colors. I don't see why it wouldn't matter. I think the only thing is if it's a bit too different and you've already started using like Caliban, that's when you'll notice it more, even if it's really subtle. Because if you've got a lot of it's not so bad if you've got like one or two, but if you've got a lot of one color and then you just substitute that and it tends to be a little bit lighter or a little bit darker, you'll notice it. Is the thing. Right, hang on, let me have a super quick look. Morphine is the one with the tentacles. Hang on, I'll Google it because I think. No, isn't that the Mortaleth beast, Vortex beast, whatever? Morphine's the one with the little mouth things. I'm sure it is. I stuck my finger in 2 places in middle school. Ouch. Forge Fiend has gone. Morphine has gone aside. Right, so yeah, I think it is that one. Yeah. That's the one I like. I'm a little bit with the chaos stuff. I'm not too knowledgeable, because obviously I have nothing to do with chaos because Dark Angels aren't chaos. So there. Unfortunately, I made a mistake of gluing the tentacles before painting. They are yeah. See sub-assemblies. Let me just get rid of that. Well, wait. Let me get rid of that. I made a mistake of gluing the tentacles before painting. Yeah, see again, yeah. Is painter's version of Caliban green. It's a lot cheaper, so I buy and pay. Like I said, if it works, man, do it. So there we go. Angel Green is painted version of Caliban. Like a lot of companies do that. They will do one that's like the basic kind of Citadel range. They'll color match it to the best of their. Like Vallejo do one. P3 I think also do one. They'll be. I mean, they're never really 100% matched. They say they are, but they're along them lines, so it shouldn't make too much of a difference. Iron Painter is reasonably priced, actually. I'm always a big fan of that. My backpack caught my finger when I drove it in textbooks on that. What? So basically, literature, fingers broke, like, snapped the finger. Am I right there, Ted? Which is weird because they say sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. But ironically, words broke your finger. So that was a big fat whopper. Watched a video on Emberguard, on Underworld. Emberguard. Yeah, not much to say about Emberguard. Like I said, it's if you're new to it, I still think it's slightly overpriced. Although I do like the miniatures. Oh, I'll say that I like the Skaven. The Skaven are really good. It's nicely presented. I do just think it's the price is a bit silly. £75 is way too much, and for so much of a consumer's hard-earned cash to be wiped out like that, I feel for the people on that side of things. Nicely presented. Again, I do think Emberguard is pulled, or Underworlds in general is pulled in two different directions because it's so wrapped up in the tournament scene. I don't think it's one or the other. It has a bit of an identity crisis. So you got, blimey, you nearly got, so if it's 54, so 64, so you got 21 quid off. That's good, man. But considering when you got the same amount of miniatures in Shadespire, it was only 40 quid. Oh, I thought it was 75. Still 67.50. That's ridiculous, man. It's too much. That's too much for a coffee top game. And I think we've seen the best of Underworlds. I think they should just kind of move on to maybe doing something else. Personally, I don't know. It doesn't know. It suffers with bad identity crisis, with all the tournament inclusion, and I think that's what does it a lot of harm, like a lot of harm. But you know, if you're excited for it, then by all means, fantastic, love it. Did you end up moving in the end? You said you were going to move, weren't you? How did that work out for you? Did you find a place, or what happened with that? Yeah, I don't know. I think personally, should be £50. Yes, it should be. Yes, it was cheaper, but you can't box up the same thing, completely refine something back to how it was. You know, they've reduced all the extra rules, chaff. You've stopped people using all their cards and stuff like that, and whack a premium on it. That you can't do that, unfortunately. It's just, yeah. Discord, I'd show it. Do you know how many editions there's been? Like I said, of Underworlds in 6 years. 12 editions, 9 core boxes, and 3 starter sets. That is some, 6 years of content that they've wiped out there, and that's the big gripe for the consumer. Yeah, when everything was cheaper. Yeah, but come on now, we know the markups that GW put on stuff as well. So to say it was cheaper, I disagree. The Kill Team starter box originally was £65, and the brand new one is only £2.50 cheaper, dearer. Come on. Like, GW are fooling no one with those prices, and you know, I just think it's a little bit, you know, naughty that they do it and they try it, but then people, unfortunately, they will pay it, and that's you know, the cycle that we're in. Especially because it's Space Marine Heroes. Do you know what, the miniatures alone for those Space Marine, the new Kill Team set, I reckon is worth it. No matter, regardless how you feel about the MDF terrain, I think that is a really, really good set. Considering both of those outers, to get all 6 miniatures was something like, they were like £7, £8 each, and there was 6 in a box, so it was like £38, something like that per box. And you're getting both of those, and that Playcaster is the one that was actually only originally released in Japan, and now it's included in the box, so you're actually getting that miniature, which was an exclusive for so long. Right, so Virus of Lego, call it what you want, 6 seasons, it doesn't change the fact there's been 9 editions with updated rules. It's only because after the 3rd one, they started to do this whole season thing as live service games. But what is a season, really? Absolutely nothing. It's just a way of conning more money out of people by giving something a shelf life. A season only lasts 6 months. 9 boxes, or 12 really, again, in 6 years is ridiculous. That's 2 boxes a year, plus all the warbands, plus all the cards that you would have needed to buy to give yourself a level playing field. Now, the thing that annoys me about this is when, like, Underworlds came out, everyone was saying, I wonder if they're going to do, like, booster packs. And they turned around and said, we're not going to do booster packs because we don't want people to have, like, an advantage over someone else. So if you got a rare card and I didn't, you would have that card and I wouldn't. On paper, logically, you go, okay, fine. But that's no difference, because if there's a card pack or a warband that came out that I didn't buy and you did, you would still have an advantage anyway. Compacted with the fact that most of this stuff was a limited run, like if you missed out on a card pack or a board, they never reissued them, so they were gone forever. So you either got them, or through FOMO, or you didn't do it that way. And I just think it's absolutely that the handling of Underworlds, from Shadespire being a really, really fun coffee tabletop game to where it is now, is an actual mess. It's, it's awful. The new Kill Team start set, Jake Lewis, is fantastic. I'm actually going to pick one up for myself. I don't need them, but I think the teams you get in there, really, really cool. It takes the... I myself, I never picked up like the big boxes of like the packs, so I would pick out like one or the other, and I think I got some of the Nurgle stuff when I did Death Guard a little while back. I say that about 4 years ago. I got like the guy that was covered in like that goop, and the leader guy and that. But for what you get with them, they're pretty unique models. I'm looking forward to grabbing one. So yeah, I like it, and I like the idea of the MDF terrain. I think as a starter set, as it goes, if you are brand new to Kill Team, you've got 2 lovely, really bespoke sets of miniatures that are completely unique, which obviously, great fun to paint. You don't have to worry about painting the terrain. And I need to have a little bit look. One thing I really, really hope they're on coloured plastic. So out the box, even if you're not big on painting, you would have like, your Space Marines one colour, your Death Guard the other. with MDF terrain, you could actually start playing realistically in like an hour, because they're going to be push fit miniatures, and I really like the idea of that. Just go some how quick teams. Yeah, they were absolutely. I think again, because of how quickly the teams got phased out and the required cards you needed for tournament, they actually cornered people into constantly buying this stuff. And think about it, and this is where like I think about the consumer. Imagine investing for 4 years every single bit of Underworld contents that come out. So you buy all the warbands, all the cards, all the boards. You're then 4 years in. It's hard to stop, because, like, you know, most people would go, well, but there's no point in just stopping now. So it's a bit naughty the way they kind of did it. They really did play on the FOMO. Personally, I don't know why they just weren't sold as Age of Sigmar units that were used in Underworlds. Why did they have to be specifically for that? I know, didn't they a while back try and add the Underworld stuff into Warcry? Was that a fever dream, or was that an actual thing? I'm sure it was. And that's how they got you, because you'd spent so long investing. It's like watching a TV show for like 8 seasons. Of course you're going to not watch it. You'll stick with it. It's got to be really drastically bad for you to go, I'm out. Like, I'm out. And that's the problem with it. You know, it was a constant feed of stuff, but it was like, it was supported, but also like it wasn't, if that makes sense. It's a really weird kind of, like I said, I think Underworld is, it either needs to be a casual game or it needs to be a tournament game. And I think it being pulled in the direction of both of them actually harms the game quite a lot, in all honesty. I will see you paint up the Space Marine team as Dark Angels. Do you know what? I like the idea of painting them up as Dark Angels. I'd like to do maybe like a little Raptors. The Death Guard ones, I've actually got one here. This was the Gerg the Foul guy. Josh actually sent me a mate, and he's sat on my shelf. These are what the miniatures are like. These are the ones you're getting. They are really lovely miniatures, and they're all unique. And I think that it's a great way of, if you're into like Death Guard and you want to bolster like your squad, or like get the Playcaster, because I don't think he was ever separate outside of P Pants. What was it called? 8th edition. There was No Fear, First Strike, Dark Imperium. That's it. It was on the tip of my tongue. You know, it'd be great to start a little Death Guard faction with them, or have some unique posed Marines. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm going to pick it up for myself. So, Kalitos, hello. Where have you been? Everyone's together now. The OG squad's all here now. So, how are you, Sue? You well? Oh, they are coloured. Brilliant. See, I think stuff like that, when Games Workshop applies themselves and they do it right, it's MDF terrain, they're coloured, which means you can pop them out, push them together, bang. You know, even if you're brand new to the hobby, it's not going to take you long to do that. You'll be playing within about an hour. 2 if you're making, I don't know, both teams yourself and flicking through the walls and that. Because Kill Team isn't a hard game. And I can prove it's not a hard game because I can play it competently. So, you know, that's, and I think price weight, spot on money with the price. It's where it needs to be. I think it's going to be a great, you know, addition to the Kill Team. I'm really looking forward to it. Yeah, you couldn't you? Yeah, that's what I said. 9 boxes of Underworlds and 3 starter sets, so there was 12. Crypto Blood Box of Warcry used Underworld teams. Yeah, that was the Crimson Court versus some of the Stormcast dudes, I think, who are the members of the OG squad. Well, Murph, it's you. We've got Carlitos, North Star. He was here. I don't know whether North Star's still in the chat. Wave or something. Alex, Josh is here. Fraser. I did lose chat a minute ago, and it kind of popped back on. Ichio, he was there. He was there from the beginning. Oh, I love it. Yeah, Izu having one. He the OG's an OG member. He was there for the kit bashing, the good old kit bashing days. Back in my day. Sorry, I'm late. Very glad to be here. No, thank you very much for popping on. It's always a pleasure to see you. That's from Dark Imperium. The other ones, Jam. Yeah, the one you get from. Yes, because the Platecaster in Dark Imperium was never released separately, if I remember. The only way to get him was in the Dark Imperium set. It's the one you get in the new Kill Team Start set is the Japanese exclusive that was released with the Kill. We got the Death Guard guys, but we didn't get the Platecaster because that was a Tokyo Store exclusive, I believe. So, anything I was concerned about start set. If you've got High Storm. Well, I think if you've invested in High Storm, probably not, in all honesty, unless you want those kill teams. If you want the kill teams, I actually still think you're going to make a saving, because though, like I said, those boxes were they £7 or £8 in the UK, the Space Marine Heroes. And they were sold in 6s, but I think there was only 5 miniatures, so you always got 2 of 1. So it was 16, 32, 48, or they were £7 each, 28, 32. It was something like that. If you use both of those, like £32 each, you're actually already making a saving on those kill teams. Plus you get the MDF terrain, you'll get the nice little rule book. All right, it's not a full one, but it is, it's good enough, to get you going. You get the cardboard mat, you'll get all your dice, your range rulers. I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a great box set. Any of you got any schemes for Tyranids that aren't orange? Tyranids again. I've only ever painted one Tyranid. There he is. Hey, hello lad. How are you? Oh blimey, he's a bit dusty, this fella. Where's my dusting brush? There. There we go. That's Leviathan, that is, but he's got like more of a pinky flesh with the purple. Cool little model. I'd like to do more in this scheme, as it's quite like vibrant. I don't know whether we can see that. However, I just don't know enough about Tyranids to invest in them. Cool models though. I had another one here. I think it was a free model. There was a one. I had one up here. It was like a dude with a thing on its back. I don't know their names, but it's kind of cool. But yeah, he's a cool little Tyranids. Leviathan. I like Leviathan. I like the red ones. Is it Kraken or Behemoth? I always get them mixed up. The ones with the red shell and the almost like the pale creamy bodies. But this was just Magos purple, and that was Doomfire magenta, and it was really heavily watered down with contrast medium. And then I just added some cheeky highlights, some Genestealer purple. Cool, like I said, cool middle model on that. Is it yeah? They're cream and with red on top, but I think they're quite a nice looking scheme. I think maybe if I were going to do them, maybe I'd do those. I'm not sure. To be fair, I was looking at, because I went into my local store and I picked up one of the Lizard Men dudes, and I was looking at this guy because I did him on an old school Goblin Green base. I actually really like the scheme. I think I might come back to this for something. I think this is really cool. This Saurus warrior dude. There wasn't much to him, but I really, really like him. I think they're cool models. maybe treat myself to some Croxigores or something. I think they're quite cool looking. So yeah, we'll see. Let me just, yeah, Kraken's cream or red. Where we go here? Purple. I ponder using purple, maybe with some green. I also thought about doing some blue and white. I like grey because I refuse to paint white. With white, I mean, I always think like apothecary white is a really, really good way of adding like a bit of grey depth to white. I use it a lot for my stonework on some of my Dark Angel stuff, and I always think that's really, really nice, especially over Corax white. I know a lot of people don't get on with Corax white. I think it's a fantastic colour. You've just got to fear and respect the white, and it works really, really well. I don't really know too much about, say, Tyranids, so there's probably better people to kind of ask than myself. But I do, yeah, I think Behemoth, the red ones, I think if I was going to commit to doing them, I would do that one. Reminds me of Liz Alphas, Legend Zelda. Yeah, kinda. See, I a Spearhead. The problem I have with Spearhead is every time I look at the box, I go, that's kind of nice. But then there's like a unit of something in there that I just think I'm well aware of my shortfalls as a human, and I know deep down I'm not going to paint that. Like, what is the point? I sit there and I think, nah, which is a bit of a shame. I like the idea of maybe doing, because I was doing some rock guts and I've got some little Troggoths. I thought maybe I'll get Gloomspite Gits one, but I'm not painting all them little goblins, especially the state of their models. They're so old. I know people think, oh, well, they're beloved, and I just think, whatever. I'm not painting that. No way. I was looking at the Slaves to Darkness one. I was looking at the Dark Oath one, and I thought, maybe. But then I'm kind of like, no. However, I was looking at the battle boxes, and I must say the Cities of Sigmar one looks wicked. That is good, and you get a good saving in that one as well. I think if I was going to pick one of those up, I'd probably go for that. Just purely because I think that's a really good box set, and it all seems to gel really well because it's all range stuff with the Ironworld cannon. You've got the Fusiliers, you've got the Fusilier General with the guy on the like on riding the ogre. I like it. I think it's a cool looking set. I think I would pick that up if I was going to pick one up. I'm still in two minds whether to grab the Dark Angels one, just purely because we've crept into November already, and I'm already running out of time for everything else. I don't know. We'll see. Let's get the Christmas present buying out the way for the kids first, and then whatever's left, I might see if I can treat myself. But we'll take it from there. So there we go. Right. Okay. Well, look, it's a start. I've blocked in the robes. Let's give that bit another coat. Ballistic. Everyone's Spearhead has the following 10 cells for a free Coxigor and a Saurus Soul Blood. Yeah, see the 10, I don't know. I like the idea of maybe doing Croxigor. Like, I wish with, especially some of the sets that they do now, I wish there was a bit more kind of like, I don't know, you have an army of Croxigor if you wanted. Like, but there's always things with battle line and stuff, and I just kind of think like, I don't know. Because if I am going to play a game, it will be Age of Sigmar. But I don't know. We'll see. I might just grab a box of them, or like an individual one off of eBay or something. There's always people that split boxes, so I might just do it that way. I think that'll probably be better. And I don't know. we'll see. Again, I'm in no rush to make a decision, but I do like the looks of the Croxagores. I like the one with the crocodile head. I think they look pretty cool, actually. So I think maybe those ones, possibly. We'll see. The thing is, because I don't play, I like the idea of playing, but I know I probably won't. So there's no point me investing in massive armies in it. I'd rather just have like projects that I kind of do for myself and do it. So we'll see. We'll see. Well, Alex, what are you doing? Stop doing that. It's like really kind of you, but honestly, it will go towards, you know, stuff that I need in the studio, and you know, it really does help out. But my man, please, honestly, you've given more than enough. Like, please don't. I love you, and I'm very, very grateful. But please, it's, yeah. We'll see. I think maybe I'll let kind of chat decide one day. Maybe we'll sit down and we'll go through some of the factions together, and maybe like we could do like a little chat project. That'd be kind of fun, I think. So maybe we'll do that. Alex, you're a star. Please stop it. I love you very, very much for doing it, and it really does help out, like the studio and, you know, just getting stuff. But you've already given way more than, you know, you should. But yeah, I know, and do you know what? I do appreciate it. If you want to support me, I always say just tell a friend about me, or, you know, stick one of my videos on while you're on the toilet or something. You know, YouTube's a funny old place because it's not views that matter; it's watched hours. So, you know, it becomes a little bit more, I guess, different in that kind of sense. So, you know, and it helps me grow. It helps me. I'd rather get YouTube to pay me than take money from my community, because, you know, but it is, you know, I can't stop people donating it. It does make me feel a little bit kind of like I don't really know what to say. It makes me feel a little bit awkward. But it is very well received. It will go towards, you know, paint, brushes, just stuff that helps me kind of put videos together. I do find a lot of time I'll paint something and someone will go, "Are you doing a tutorial for that?" And you think, well, no, because I've already painted it. I can't repaint it. I haven't got another one. So sometimes it kind of helps to have, like, you know, well, I'll pick one up off eBay and we'll take it from there. So it's stuff that will really, really help. So Alex, again, thank you so much. You're an absolute star. Yeah, definitely. It's a pleasure to have you here. So that's right. So that's where we're looking. So the armor's kind of done. I'll do selective highlights, but I'll do them at the end. I've actually started, like, I don't know whether you can see with this guy. So this raptor that I painted. So I selected highlights once he was assembled. So what I was doing a little while back is I was highlighting every single thing, because obviously I was like, yeah, no, this looks good. But I actually only ended up highlighting stuff that I could see from a certain viewpoint. So I opted to kind of just go around the shoulder pads and stuff like that, and like the top bit, which, you know, you would see. So I kind of just did it that way. And I've now kind of got into the habit of my final highlights, like here, which would be Moot Green, I'll do right at the end once everything's on, because I do get a little bit kind of, I'm highlighting all this stuff and there's no point, because you're just not going to see it. So at first I was like, if it makes a difference to the miniature, if there's a chance that you could see it, I would do it. But I am starting to slowly take that mindset of, if you can't see it, it doesn't actually need to be done. And that was, you know, something that I've tried to kind of carry on doing with my Dark Angels. But I will go the extra effort on characters, but I won't do it on normal guys. But I'll add the highlights at the end, as it just makes life a little bit easier. So yeah, definitely. Back to base was nice. So it's literally just, let me just kind of, it's like a Grellan Earth, and then I had these little bits here, and it's this. Now, I don't know where I got this from. I think I was given this years ago. And one of them looked like it had tiles, so I just cut it into little squares and filed them down at different angles and stuck them on. And then I just added some little sandy bits to blend them in with a tuff, and that was it. Like the whole thing, like you look from that way and it's dead flat, it's awful. But I just wanted to have him on something, just so, yeah. But no, I quite like these. I don't know where these little bits come from, but I thought they were quite cool. So I think I'll use some more of these. For this year, it's funny so many ways. I feel like I'm a good builder. I always hack myself at painting. That's why I have to wait. I honestly don't do it. Don't beat yourself up. I think it's easy to sometimes, but like I always say, or like myself, I only compare myself against my last model, you know, and as long as I'm happy with what I'm doing and I'm enjoying it and I'm having fun, then you are doing everything right. If you can sit down and go, oh, I really enjoyed that, you've done everything right, and nobody can tell you otherwise. You know, whether they go, that bit shouldn't be green or that's the wrong colour, I think absolutely not. I had a fantastic time doing it, and that's all that matters. As I've said before, I got 2 kids. I work a hell of a lot, you know, 2 jobs. My time to paint is so incredibly precious, and even more so as my kids get older and older. I find that less and less time I spend in my studio. 4 years ago, I was in it all day, every day. You know, fast forward 4 years later, and I'm lucky if I can sit down for 10 minutes a day and maybe just tidy my desk. Painting is a precious switch off, not only for my mental health, my well-being, but it's something that I generally enjoy doing. So I don't think that you should ever, you know, feel that, you know, your work isn't good enough. I think if you're comparing yourself to others, maybe you're after a goal that maybe you haven't worked out quite yet, that maybe you want to better yourself, maybe you want to mimic a style, you know, but it shouldn't be something that's a negative. And you know, that's exactly it. So no, it's definitely, you know, and I adore chat. I do adore chat. You guys are, I pop on, and I gotta admit, every time I do a live, I sit here and I always struggle because my computer doesn't pick it up straight away. And I sit here and I go, oh, bloody hell. And I'll start talking and I'll think, oh, there's 0 people watching. And then slowly you guys just pop on and start chatting away. And I just think, there we go. What was I worried about? And it's always a really, really pleasant kind of, you guys speak amongst yourselves and you chat away, and it's nice. I like it. Like, I couldn't ask for better, if I'm completely honest with you. Like, as far as I'm concerned, I've got my little slice of bread and butter right here, and it's very nice. I'm going to work on my service. Go. Everyone just say goodbye, Rob. Atomic Murph. Yeah, no, thank you so much for popping in. I will be back. I will aim again for the same time next Sunday. As I said, I've got Monday, Wednesday, Friday, the girls are at dance. Friday, I've got a funeral. Saturday, I've got my cousin's 40th birthday, which I'm very much looking forward to. Dressing up. It's 80s themed, so I'm going to do that. So I'll be on at some point on Sunday. So do look out for a little community post. Thanks again. I'll post them pictures. Again, anyone in the chat at the moment that wants to send me pictures of their work, cattlerabbit@outlook.com. Just email me some pictures, and I'd love to show off to my community and my subscribers, stuff like that, what you guys have been doing, and, you know, brag about your work, because I think you deserve it. Vanguard assault bases. I've been attempted to urban bases scheme, but I've not nailed it yet, but I like that one. So yeah, it is. It's just Agrellan earth. I cut up these little bits. Like, you could probably get a bit of sprue, and if you cut them in a square, and then literally all I did, like, I've got the bit of sandpaper here. When I told you I live in filth, I weren't lying. Just hold it at an angle, and you can see the marks, which I was, and just hold it, and the trick is to kind of get them all at different angles. as you can kind of see there, they're not quite all level. And I just cut them up, filed them, because then it looks like it's bedded in. It was just Aggro. I just touched in Agrellan earth. And then what I do is I get a bit of a Stirland Battlemire, just a little bit, and I kind of like I dab it in the same way I do the ground covering on my forest bases, and I dab it in. I just let it settle. Then I just quick blast with a hairdryer, job done. This got a little bit of a dry brush with the Tamiya Weathering set. It got light sand just dusted over it, and that was it. But yeah, I got given it. I think they're part of an old Space Marine kit or something. I'm not quite sure, but I really like these bits. I just cut them up, and you know, I thought, well, maybe like the reason why I started doing a Raptor is, one, I really like the scheme. If you haven't, my buddy Misfit Toys on Instagram, he paints some stunning Raptors. I mean, like, they are inspiring. And I do, see what I mean? I sit there and I look at people's work and I think, oh man, I love that. You know, and I get excited. I think I'd love to have a crack at that. That's, you know. And he does. I speak to the guy. I love him to bits. We do call each other. I haven't spoken to him much recently, but we tend to call each other every Christmas. Send love from Missouri to England. He always asks after my girls, and you know, I always joke around that he's my biological dad. He just doesn't know it. But he does Misfit Toys on Instagram. He's such a nice guy, and he paints some amazing Raptors. So definitely check him out. But my idea was, I thought, I'll paint one of these guys up, and then I will. I don't know whether you can use Terminators in Kill Team at the moment or what, but I thought, well, if I do that, then I'll do a heavy intercessor, and that way I can just have like one of each, and I can make like a little Raptor kill team. I thought like maybe that would be quite nice, because I've already got enough. If I wanted to play it, I could cherry pick some Dark Angels and make a Dark Angels kill team. So I did you know, I've already got that option. So I thought, well, I'll do something a little bit different. I'll do some Raptors and just maybe have them nicely displayed. But that was all dry brushing, everything. The base was dry brushed. It was just sprayed trench brown. I dry brushed the rocks first, which was Dawnstone, then Administratum Grey. Put the Agrellan Earth down, washed it with a watery Agrax Earthshade, and that was it. Gave it a light dust in with the weathering powder. Job done. Stuck him on. Is it Cynical Psycho? Yeah, the infection's gone, mate. Thanks for asking. My God, that was bloody painful. I did talk about it a bit earlier, but Jesus Christ, at one point I couldn't actually bend my knee, and it was so painful. So no, I appreciate you asking. Yeah, it's a lot better. I mean, I've got a good 90 degrees on it now. I get the strap fitted on the 15th of November, and I'll be in it till the 6th of January. Hopefully it fixes itself, and then we won't need surgery, so we'll take it from there. But no, thanks for asking. I do really appreciate it. Maybe they'll watch over your shoulder one day, see what Daddy really does. Well, my youngest likes to paint. My eldest likes to paint. Just ordered the Tamiya 35 day chef. What's really bonkers? Sorry guys, I jump in the harbour, of course. I got to admit, I've often thought about doing it. See, I get a bit of a free pass because it's Cat Rabbit Scale Model Studio, not Warhammer Studio. I just really like Warhammer, so I tend to do a lot of it, and it's the videos that do the best. You know, let's not beat around the bush. Speaking of things that, you know, like, so Josh kindly printed me off some stuff. Now, me and my eldest, we like anime. And we recently started watching Dandadan. Now, I don't know if, you know, anyone's kind of watched it or seen it, but it's bonkers, but she absolutely loves it. And Josh printed off a Momo, because my daughter loves Momo. She's quite a funny character. This lovely print of Momo. But so he printed this off my daughter to paint up, which was really, really kind of him. But what he also did was he actually printed me off an absolutely massive one. Way, don't lose your head. So I've actually got this to paint up, Momo from Dan to Dan, which will obviously, she ain't gonna know, but it'll be a present for my daughter, as she loves her so much. But I did start to kind of just, I filed out any kind of odd bits and I just cleaned it up a little bit. But the print is so good. Like, look how smooth that is. Look at the creases in the jumper. And I just run like a little bit of fine sandpaper. I'm going to go over with a bit more fine. And it's turned out so well. So I will be doing some other stuff on the channel. The Dan to Dan painting video is coming for Momo. I don't know whether there's an Okaroon or anything. We also really like Delicious in Dungeon. I don't know whether there's any of those. I also got a little Turbo Granny. That's right, it's called Turbo Granny, which comes with it. So I'll paint these up. But I love odd models. More and more I look at sets, like other sets. Like I look at a lot of Kingdom Death models. I think they're quite cool. Epics and stuff. I really like epics and stuff. I've done Breath of Fire painting videos before. Again, my man Marcus Colbert did the music. Just a lovely guy, just passionate from the hobby, loves the games. And yeah, but I was looking at some kits, some odd bits. I really like, I don't know when people feel Bushido. Bushido's got some really cool looking miniatures, like feudal Japan, but they also do like demon spirits, like yokai, which look really, really cool. It's 8 AM in Australia, so I just popped. Blimey. It's 9:15 here. So I am going to be, my God, I've been going on for a while. And 2 hours and 10. That's nearly Lord of the Rings, isn't it? Jesus. Yeah, obviously, like I've done Gundams before and stuff like that. So it's just finding sets. I think the problem is you get spoiled by Games Workshop, because when you start working with Games Workshop kits, it's hard to then like get a kit, because you'll just go, it's inferior, and it becomes a little bit like I don't know, off-putting. So that's why you end up doing Games Workshop and stuff. I think I'm going to buy a third party too. So I like the idea of like Ninja Turtles and stuff like that. That's the type of stuff I'd like to paint. I grew up with Ninja Turtles, like real Ghostbusters, like cartoons that's what I had action figures of. I loved them. They do need to take the back seat. I think the problem is it's just that they are, again, you become a little bit of a victim of the beast, because not everyone is not interested in that stuff. Like some of my favourite models, like Blood Carrot Knights and that, I really enjoy painting, but they just don't get the traction on the video. So it's a little bit of a shame. So I tend to just do them like in the background. Like I got this free little owl guy. I got this with when you order from Epics and stuff, they always throw in some like really, really cool like free miniatures. And one day I literally just started painting it, and we did this little kind of, and I had such a good time painting this little dude up. I really should finish his base. Look, I even did the little name on the letter. Look how tiny he is. But I loved it, and it was something so radically different to what I would normally do. It was great, and obviously I got to do like some nice blending on the green. I don't know whether you guys can see that on the post box in his bag. It was so much fun. And I definitely am on the lookout for some different kits and some different things to do. You just got to pepper them in. They have to be spaced. I've got Ryu from Suikoden 2 up here that, again, I'd love to do. I might do that for when the HD remaster comes out next year. I think that'd be a really cool video. Again, Epics and stuff, they just do some amazing 3D prints. And there's hardly any cleanup, very rarely will there be a little gate attached somewhere that just snaps off. But so, there is some different stuff coming. I just need to, you know, drop them in with the GW stuff and take it from there. It's been a lot on Leopard 27 feet models at the moment. Danish Army received it in 22, but no model depicts the Danish one correct. So I'm spending way too much to get it right. Look, I think if you want to do something for like state of historical accuracy, then I think that's a fantastic project. You know, and if it's something you want to do, then it's not stupid. Absolutely not, because it's the enjoyment you'll get out of it. 1,000 Suns won't have so long. Oh, mate, 1,000 Suns. I'm so sorry to hear that. It's again, like Rubric Marines and stuff like that, I think look really striking, but my God, there is some dedication there, because that's a hardcore army to go after, and it's a hardcore one to kind of keep the consistency up. This is why I tend to have little breaks from doing stuff all the time. Like I'll paint like, I don't know, some random stuff, then I'll come back to it, and that's exactly it. And that's the way you've got to do it. I think otherwise you'll drive yourself insane. But yeah, I like the idea of painting 1,000 Sun. Like I was looking at Araman a little while back. I thought, like on his little disc thing, and I thought, that'd be quite cool to paint. And then I kind of thought, well, maybe I'll just get a couple more. And I looked at them and I was like, nah, you're all right. Absolutely not. So yeah, I feel you in that regard. That's going to be hardcore. But what I am going to do is I think I am going to end it there today, because I didn't realise it's 2 hours and 20 minutes. There's me thinking, 20 minutes, job done. And so I think I am going to end it there. As I always say, it's a privilege for you to spend your evening with me. Let me spend, well, I guess, my evening with you. I always say it's, you know, it's your time, not mine. I'm here to do this, and you know, I always think it's a privilege that you've chosen to spend your evening with me. So thank you, everyone in the chat. That do you know what? I didn't realise the time. It's been a good laugh today, and I think, you know, after a couple of weeks of my knee, I think I really needed that tonight. So yeah, it's been really, really lovely. I will be back on Sunday again. If that time changes, I'll pop something up, but it will be 7 o'clock on Sunday, which will be the 10th of November. Again, I will put a community post up. Again, if you have painted anything that you're particularly proud of, please send it to me at cattlerabbit@outlook.com, or you can find me on Instagram, Cattle Rabbit Scale Model Studios, under the same name. Message me, just be like, hi, this is it, you know, and I'd love to, you know, share some stuff, what my community has been working on, because I'm proud of you guys. I love you guys. So yeah, it's been an absolute pleasure. How did we do? Well, the armor's kind of done. There is a set of highlights to go on at the end, and I did get the robe base coated. It's all the little bits. Once all them little bits are done, this thing will fly together in no time. But what I am going to do is I'm not actually going to do anything to this guy until next Sunday, because I want to do it, like, you know, bit by bit. So we'll finish the robes off. We'll paint all the little details around him, and then we'll start on the other parts of him as well. So we'll do that. But look, again, thanks to everyone that has popped in. It's been an absolute pleasure. I love you guys. Chat, you're amazing. Keep doing what you're doing. Have a lovely week. Have an absolutely fantastic week. And I will see you all on Sunday. Sunday is absolutely Alex. And yeah, it's an absolute pleasure. Right, you guys, I'm off to walk the sausage dog, brave the fireworks, and go to bed, because I've got to be up early. So that's it from me. I will see you all next time. God bless and take care. Look at everyone popping up in the chat. I love you guys. Bye, chat. Bye.